Who is this?
Now, Specimen 2. Telling you that would ruin all of the fun. I feel the need to ask, would you prefer if I called you Cal?
I'd prefer if you'd knock this entire charade off. Who the hell is this?
If you really cared enough, you'd have already found out. Besides, the answer you're looking for lies within my name. Listen, I know you want to talk about other games, but take my word for it. If you keep reviewing the games that made you who you are today, I'll tell you everything you want to know. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you do what I've asked.
Hello? Damn it!
What?
Nothing. I just got a weird call.
Yeah? From who?
A coped wreck.
Really? What did he say?
Nothing. He just told me to keep reviewing games from my childhood. But I have an idea. Any call, even if it's restricted, can be traced. And that's what we're gonna do. We just need to plan ahead.
We're gonna find out who a coped wreck is.
Yeah. Write this down. He told me the answer to who he is lies within his name. And I could also tell he was using something to disguise his voice.
Hang on. I can't write any of this down.
What?
Your pin's gone.
Fine. Just try to remember this the best you can. He told me the answer to who he is within his name. And I could also tell he was using some type of voice disguiser. Understood?
Yup.
Alright. See whatever you can do to get us some answers.
What are you gonna be doing?
What I was told to do. Review a game. And I know just the one to do. I love the Indiana Jones trilogy. And why wouldn't I? It's packed to the brim with action, adventure, mystery, tons of good stuff. But I gotta stop while I'm ahead because I could seriously talk about the sheer brilliance of these films for hours. So sadly there won't be any discussion of the spectacle of Raiders, epicosity of The Last Crusade,
or the crappiness of the Temple of Doom.
That's my favorite one. But yeah, today is all about Indiana Jones video games, to be more specific, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So is it any good? Let's find out. This is an empty case. Fooled ya. The game begins in 1935, with Indy searching the jungles of British Ceylon in an effort to find the lost idol of Koruwatu. As is with these adventures, after locating the idol, he ends up running into Nazis. This isn't an issue, however, as he makes quick work of them and tosses their leader, Albrecht von Beck, to a hungry crocodile. Returning back to the United States with the idol in hand, Indy is soon approached by Chinese official Marshal Kai-Ti and his assistant Mei Ying, where the two inform Indy of a lost treasure known as the Heart of the Dragon, an ancient artifact with the ability to grant its wielder unimaginable power. Never being one to turn down a good chance at scoring fortune and glory, Indy sets out on his adventure. The gameplay found in the Emperor's Tomb is fairly straightforward, with Indy needing to progress from point A to point B while also finding hidden artifacts, solving puzzles, engaging in a bit of platforming, and even taking part in some hand-to-hand combat. The hidden artifacts are really just bonus collectibles that act as an incentive to explore levels like crazy, though all they do is grant the player access to concept art only after all of them are found, that is. I'm gonna sound like a huge moron, but concept art was never really something that interested me. I mean, it's definitely cool to see what went into the making of a game, but as an award for 100% completion overall, I've always found it as something of a weak prize. Then again, there do exist certain things such as the Naughty Dog scrapbook and even the Insomniac Museum, so this isn't always the case. Really though, if I was making a game, I'd probably settle for some sort of conceptual art prize since I'm stupid. It's that simple. But yeah, platforming's also a huge part of the gameplay as you're exploring the likes of decrepit ancient locations as well as lush jungles. Being the total badass he is, Indy can utilize his trusty whip to swing from certain objects, like stone gargoyle heads and even chandeliers. The best part is, Indy can smoothly transition from a jump to a swing, which comes in real handy especially during sections with back-to-back swinging points. This sometimes sucks though, since more often than not, you'll either swing when you're just out of reach or the input will be dropped altogether. This is pretty damn frustrating, though there's only one culprit: the frame rate. Remember, I'm reviewing the PS2 port of this game, not the PC, Xbox, or Mac port. Whatever complaints I make here may or may not apply to those platforms, though I have heard the Xbox version plays like a bit of a buggy mess. Youch. Anyways, the game truly is a cinematic experience, with the frame rate running at a cool, crisp 20 to 25 FPS for most of the journey. In fact, the only time I was ever able to make the game truly run smooth was by facing a wall. A breathless, world-tripping adventure! Anyways, the shoddy frame rate is undoubtedly the cause for most issues over the course of the game, whether it's input lag or even the total botching of moments that are supposed to be epic. Take this for example. Indy's being chased through catacombs by a huge machine of death. In theory, it should be like this. In reality, it's more akin to this. The worst part is easily this turret section. I mean, it felt like I was trying to run Resi 7 on my old 470. The game was chugging so hard, I was honestly expecting a deafening train horn to come out of nowhere and scare the hell out of me. In fact, I can't remember ever dying so many times just because the game was running so horribly. Oh yeah, the shaking screen you see here comes at an optional price of $19.99. Like I said though, I've only ever played the PS2 version, so this might be the only port with such a problem. It's actually kind of mind-boggling since 1, this isn't exactly a graphically demanding game in the slightest, nor does it look very good, and 2, this is running on the same system with beautiful games like Jak and Daxter, God of War, and Metal Gear Solid 2. That'd be like if my Nintendo Switch could run Breath of the Wild, but had no chance in hell of handling something like Overcooked. Oh wait. Disclaimer, I love Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. If this joke offends you, I guess I'm sorry? But yeah, where those games are pretty much virtual representations of a delicious feast, this game is at best oatmeal. Like, look at these textures. I haven't seen anything this washed out since I became an editor and stopped going outside. Overall, the game looks pretty rough, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I got flashbacks to a certain experience due to just the performance alone. Anyways, Indy comes complete with these two things. I think they're called hands. With these, he's capable of dispatching any opponent that comes his way, most of which are poachers, Nazis, and even spirits from the nether- What the hell?! I mean, okay, poachers, I can understand. Nazis, makes sense. When Indy's not fighting the Russians, he's fighting them. But evil spirits that have the ability to possess terracotta statues and even resurrect dead bodies? Nah, that's just a little too far-fetched for me. Someone bring back the aliens. Anyways, the combat is actually pretty interesting since it works as a 2-button system, with both of the buttons controlling one of Indy's hands. This is actually pretty cool, as it encourages different variations in fighting since it allows you to come up with different combos. Pressing both of the buttons in conjunction has Indy do a grapple attack, which can then be used to get in a few hits on enemies or even toss them. In fact, it kind of reminds me of arms. Yeah, it's like arms. Na 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 na. My favorite attack has to be this charge one. I mean, it decimates whoever stands in your way, sending them flying all over the place. It actually reminds me of Han Solo's shoulder rush attack from Battlefront, and you know what, let's be real here, at this point, both of these characters are just Harrison Ford. Plain and simple. That's not all though, since Indy can also take advantage of loose objects such as bottles, chairs, and even spears. You can also use Indy's whip to pull enemies your way and even disarm them. It's so satisfying. He straight up yanks whatever they have right out of their hands. It's pretty crazy how intuitive the combat is in this game, and that's not even the full extent of Indy's fighting abilities, though before I move on, I need to make this point. Holding down the R1 button acts as a targeting system. This is good since it allows you to focus your attacks on whomever you're fighting. The problem, however, comes into play when you're locked in combat with more than one person. Indy usually focuses on whoever's closest to him, which means it's very easy to get overwhelmed by guys attacking you from behind. And did I mention that this also functions as the way Indy blocks? Yeah, pretty much defeats the purpose entirely. It gets pretty ridiculous, and sometimes it just looks like it's a bunch of loan sharks beating the living hell out of Indy. I guess even he didn't get Jabba his money. The worst are easily these Chinese Sentinel dudes, since not only do they block almost every attack you throw their way, but if you get meleeed by one of these crossbow guys, you're done for. Fortunately, you're not always limited to just melee combat, as you have an arsenal that consists of pistols, machine guns, and spear guns aplenty. There's even a cover-based mechanic, and it's basic. Yeah, not every one of them can be winners. I mean, just look at Pubis. Scrunched up nose, always looking like he cut a fart and not wanting to get caught. He's ridiculous. What? I guess now a time is as good as any to talk about the game's bosses, since there's actually a considerable amount of things to be said in regards to them. Interestingly, they're all pretty varied. For example, one boss might act as an object that needs to be avoided at all costs, while another requires its glowing weak points to be damaged. In fact, I'd say the different collection of boss types makes this game a relic of sorts. It harkens back to a time when variety was commonplace in games, and now I sound like an old man. Great! I think one of the best things about this game is that it feels exactly like an Indiana Jones film. I mean, the Harrison Ford voice impersonator does a good enough job, the adventure is on par with one of its big screen counterparts, the set pieces definitely fit the occasion, and even the music is some good stuff. It's mostly atmospheric tracks, though there are plenty of variations of the Raiders March, all of which kick in at the perfect time and leave you feeling awesome. Until of course the ghost of Framerate's past comes careening back in, turning the game into a slideshow. All in all, the game's a bit rough around the edges, but looking at it completely, it's not bad, it just has a few flaws. So, how about the ending, huh? Well, it turns out Kai is evil and plans to use the heart of the dragon to take over the world. Mei Ying and Indy team up, Indy finds this awesome boomerang thing called the Pachang, and then the two travel to the Netherworld to battle Kai, who at this point is completely mad with power. I wish I could say this fight is awesome, but it's actually the easiest thing ever. All you have to do is avoid Kai's attacks, which is incredibly simple since just running in a straight line gets the job done, while also powering up the Pachang so it can be used to harm him. All you do is jump through these portals and throw it at him a few times. Done and done. Don't put me on record for saying this, but I'm pretty sure there's a harder boss than this guy in the first Spyro. Anyways, once that whole chestnut has been roasted, Indy and Mei Ying go out to dinner with their friend Wuhan. Wait a minute. Wuhan. That name sounds familiar. Wuhan. Why does that name sound so familiar? Wuhan. Wuhan. Oh my god! Wuhan! Wuhan! It's Wuhan! Oh my god, it's Wuhan! It's the guy from— oh, sorry. It's Wuhan! The guy from the start of the Temple of Doom! Wuhan! So then that makes this game a prequel to the Temple of Doom. Wuhan even mentions something about finding the remains of Narhachi. Wow. Who cares? Overall, I'd say Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb is a good game. Maybe not the PS2 port though. If you're gonna play it, stick to the PC version. From what I hear, it suffers the least from graphical problems and frame rate issues. Anyways, I was gonna close out this episode by parodying one of the famous scenes from the movies, like ripping someone's heart out or drinking some water and turning into a skeleton, but I got nothing. I don't even have the budget to do such a thing. I do have this though. Want to keep up with everything that I'm up to? You probably don't. But for those of you who do, head on over to twitter.com/ThatGuyCal show and click follow.